just doing
Willkommen. We are doing some admin, as in house having admin, and yeah.
Look, I want cheese.
Buying stuff to put in our faces, admin.
I want cheese.
So do I. Everyone wants cheese, except I guess lactose intolerant people.
Oh come on, even they want cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Especially they want cheese.
Yep. We're gonna do a little bit of Wipeout. We're gonna do a little bit of maybe Train Sim, and then maybe something else. I don't know. At some stage, I do want to go. I do want to stream all of Red Dead Redemption.
Yes, we do need to get to that.
Stephen, welcome, Stephen.
Hello.
Stephen, what a way to join the conversation. He says, and Voyager. Voyager doesn't like cheese.
It's true.
Voyager does not like cheese.
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
I'm looking for cheese.
I already looked for cheese.
I'm looking for cheese myself, though.
You're supposed to be playing games.
But we're chatting about cheese now.
I told you I looked for the cheese you want, and no place has the cheese you want for delivery.
Oh, god damn it. Alright, never mind.
We're so
Stupid
interesting.
gel packs. We are interesting people. That's one way to put it.
Look, I'll get you some mature cheddars. I have to.
Oh, very nice.
Is that acceptable?
Oh, that's most acceptable. Oh, I think. Right. Oh no, this is the right way around. No, I want to do them a different way than I did them last time.
Purely for cheese. Yes, we live in a future where there is no longer cheese on Earth, so the entire point of going to the future is to get cheese.
John Smith, welcome.
Hi, John.
Willkommen.
We've been ranting about cheese.
We're talking about cheese, apparently. It's like the cheese song Tim Minchin.
Oh god, I love that.
Cheese. Down.
You realize that's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Good.
No, not good.
Very good.
Not good. In fact, bad.
Ooh. Well, now you can have the 7 different the 7 different Wipeout house tunes. Hey, Michael, can I play piano? I can indeed play piano. That is a thing that I sometimes do.
It is indeed a thing that you sometimes
Not
do.
like super well, but I play it sometimes. I took lessons as a kid.
I took lessons for 13 years and then forgot everything I learned. I'm so glad my parents made that investment. Sorry, Dad. It's fine. It's fine. I still remember a couple of things. Ooh, do you want ice cream? I want ice cream.
It depends what there is, but maybe, yeah.
I can get you caramel sutra.
That does sound pretty good. That does sound pretty good. Thank you. Have you ever used it to play Tim Minchin songs to scare people?
Oh my god,
I should. I should. I mean, I actually have the right colour hair for that as well. That's the only reason. That's my only reasoning to. Oh no! That's my only reasoning to ever learn.
That's a brilliant reason.
You're gonna have to read the comments because I'm gonna crash a lot if I try to read all the comments. It is funny when I crash. Did I turn the audio down? Okay, it's 40%, so it's apparently.
Just let us know if it's too loud, guys.
Contender eliminated. Actually, I'm going to turn it down because it's a bit on the loud side. So because we're supposed to be chatting here. Ow, ow. Oh no, somebody's exploded body.
Yay.
Just every now and then you pass the smoking carcass of another car,
Yay.
another racer. Which does kind of beg the question: are we killing each other in this game?
I think so.
Because how then do the same people come back next race?
No, it's just the same team. They picked a new driver.
Oh, okay. So that driver died.
Yes, complete. They've just been replaced. Also, also because...
Honky Tonk is the funniest name given. Well, it's onomatopoeic. Because it's for pianos that have gone slightly out of tune, so they sound like honky tonk. It's like my granddad used to refer to certain kind of music from the period of Bach and Handel, which is known as Baroque, but a lot of it involves the harpsichord. But he used to describe it as jungy jungy, because it sounds like jungy 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 jungy, because that's what the harpsichord sounds like. So he used to call it jungy jungy. That's a very eccentric thing about my family. We're awfully eccentric people, and we hide it well. We hide it well.
I'll let you take
I mean, for British people, though, not to you, obviously not to you, amongst British people who are already 40% weirder than, you know, background, like radiation.
The levels are high.
If you, well, to be fair, if you measure countries on how weird, and I'm not doing anything inappropriate or stereotyping here, I'm just saying how weird the people tend to be, then you've probably got us and Iceland next to each other. And then close second would probably have to be...
Where's the States fall into it?
I don't think the States... I think the States is too cool.
What?
Generally, the States is too cool. I'm talking about how eccentric and how socially awkward the average citizen is. Not any one thing that's happened in that country. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking, you know, how many... So, but, you know, the phrase "beloved British eccentric." A British eccentric is a thing.
Yes.
We have those here.
That is true.
When people say, "Oh, he's mad as a brush," that's a thing that we say here about people, because that's a very common thing to say.
See now, Ellen says, awful eccentric people. Michael, you can actually pronounce things without sounding like you have brain damage. Kind of makes you an outlier in the British public. Granted, don't get me started on the bloody good life. It is my ambition to be a local eccentric, says John.
Yeah.
Well, John, you already have a boat. I feel like that helps.
Well, there you go.
I feel like that helps.
But yeah,
with your
that's the thing,
calls.
is if you have eccentricity, what that essentially means is you fall outside a certain circle of social acceptability, which means you probably listen to strange music, you like strange books, you talk in a bizarre way, and you've maybe spent long enough alone that you've sort of forgotten how society works. So basically everyone this year, we were just saying with some friends yesterday, don't know if you heard Joe talking, but he goes, I genuinely feel like I've forgotten how to socialize.
Oh yeah.
I've forgotten how the socializing works.
I have actually noticed people forgetting certain social norms, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing. It's been far more entertaining.
I keep expecting people to glitch. Just in the world, in real life. I keep it to freeze and be like, oh, you know, your microphone's switched off. You need to turn it back on again.
People are just going to stop, are going to keep talking, their lips are going to keep moving, but the sound's going to stop going.
And then somebody will swear out the internet and just be like, oh, goddamn Virgin Media.
Oh, God.
Honestly, it's amazing the internet didn't just melt down last year.
The entire internet.
It's amazing that every server connection in the world didn't just overheat and explode.
I mean, when we were in China at the very beginning, things actually slowed down.
That's right.
Let's see. It's why the kings of comedy in the UK are the Demons, Monty Python, and Vic Reeves and Bob.
Oh yeah. British. Well, I mean, that's why you guys love your eccentric, surreal comedy. That's why everybody in America loves Eddie Izzard and all those the surrealist comics.
Stephen says we are very well tuned to complete maniacs. It's true. Johnson, it's true, but I inherited the boat. As I've said, it's just a caravan for middle-class people. I intend to take up muttering in public and explaining my Bigfoot theories. Excellent. Wait, I thought that if you wanted to be an American theories. I thought in here you had to do like Nessie or something.
Again, Nessie is one of those things that there are people here that love the idea of Nessie. There are people in America that love it more, I think, which is why they made a big movie of it that with Ted Danson at one point.
It was a very American thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have British conspiracy theories? We might. I mean, we don't have anything like a D.B. Cooper or anything like that.
There we go. There's the topic.
D.B. Cooper. Yeah. British conspiracy. What's a British conspiracy theory that if you say you believe in it, people will ostracize you for it?
I have to think on that one.
The Long Goodbye. He might turn into Marlowe when he does the monologue under his breath. Oh dear. I've not seen that. I will not go into them because it's going down a dark hole.
Yes. But
Well, that's the thing, is they tend to involve kind of dark things. Oof, is it me or did it just heat up like a lot in the last few minutes?
I think that was you.
Alright, would you mind opening the window?
Yeah.
Thank you. I might have to retitle the stream in a minute.
Yeah.
Ah, it's been so nice. It's been a bit cooler though. Jesus, wonderful. The fever broke. I mean, maybe that was what England was trying to do. It was just trying to flush out COVID by fever, like they do in that first what's that episode of Voyager where Tuvok's trying to teach the young, where they're trying to sweat off all the cheese fever. Oh, David Icke. Well, there you go. That's who I'm talking about, really. That's current, though. I'm trying to think of one that's like... The Queen is a Lizard. Yeah, that's kind of international. I'm trying to think of one like we never had a conspiracy theory about the Titanic. I want there to be a conspiracy theory about the Titanic. There was a really amazing, and by amazing I mean probably by today's standards awful, video game my brother and I used to play as kids called Storm. Storm, it was all capitals, and it was supposed to be. It was one of those games that Storm was a submersible. So it's a submarine game, but Storm is of course an acronym for submersible twatty orange round machine. I don't know, something like that. It wasn't orange and it was not twatty, but yeah, it was kind of shaped like a manta. Shaped like a manta ray. Actually, it's sort of the machine that Manta, the villain in Aquaman, has. Mantis. The machine he had looked a bit like what Storm looked like. Okay. But at the end, it's revealed that the Titanic sank to the bottom of the ocean. Everybody on it didn't die, but became part of the citizens of Atlantis. Funnily enough. Okay. So this thus began my kind of obsession with Atlantis. But yeah, that was a dumb plot point in that game. And they literally they explain it's like when the Titanic survivors arrived, and somebody goes, "Wait, the Titanic?" It's like at least they knew it was a bit silly.
There's a British conspiracy that felt it was potentially radical, so we sunk it as a political thing.
Sunk
okay.
Which?
The Titanic.
Oh, interesting. That didn't seem to have caught on though the same way that
Because I remember having a book of unsolved mysteries, and it mentioned that the Titanic also sunk because of the Egyptian mummy's curse. I think I remember hearing the mummy's curse one. I think there was wasn't there actually a mummy on board?
Yes, maybe. That's a bit like, I don't know, the Titanic has been woven into a lot of other things, but it never had, it's not like, I don't know, Doctor Who never had an adventure on the Twin Towers, but he's had an adventure on Titanic too, you know. It's been woven into other things, like things have been set on the Titanic, or whatever. But it never had a conspiracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. How was there a Titanic 2?
It's the one in the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Well, yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about actually a movie about, like, a sequel to the movie Titanic.
There was, yeah. There was a...
How?
It was one of those rip-off ones in the 90s, I think.
Was it just retelling of the same story?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just aware of it somehow.
You can't really do a sequel to that film.
Yes, you can. Have you seen Hollywood sequel things? Have you seen them go, oh, we'll make a sequel to the second movie in this series, but not the third, fourth, and fifth, like they did with Terminator: Dark Fate? Keep us going with comments if you wouldn't mind. No, I'm not nagging you. Sorry, I was just saying, do make sure we don't get behind. No, I wasn't. I'm sorry. Yes.
Steve Owen. Conspiracies were fun once upon a time when it was like X-Files. Also, there's a second Titanic in Futurama, and with Douglas Adams' starship.
Oh
Titanic.
yeah. There is the movie about the sinking of the Titanic's sister ship Olympia.
See, okay, that could count as a sequel.
The Olympic, was it? I think it was the.
2 of the 3 sunk, right?
They did, but the Olympic was the only one that made it.
Oh, okay.
The Britannic was hit by a mine in the Mediterranean when it was serving as a hospital ship in World War II.
Yes, because there was a nurse that was on both of them.
Oh, that's like, she's the Ellen Ripley of ships.
Yeah.
She just cannot catch a break. Poor woman.
Both of them.
All of those boats bloody sunk. No, the Olympic never did. I know my ships, and the Olympic I don't think did. I think it was scrapped, actually, by the end. It lasted until the 1940s, I think. But yeah, the class was a little bit cursed, it seems.
Yes, her name was Violet Jessup.
Poor woman. What was it? It was another of our friends last night was saying that he went on a date with a guy who said that his grandfather had caught the ship from Southampton directly before the Titanic. So if his grandfather had gotten the ship after that, yes, well that, our friend wouldn't have had a date. That's kind of crazy. Cornering in this one's really quite hard. Yes, I remember X-Files era kind of. It would be fun. Wouldn't it be fun if this was true, or wouldn't it be fun if that was true? As opposed to now, where it's like, if you say something isn't true, then you start getting death threats on Twitter.
Luck, there was a Japanese reporter who was at the Hiroshima and Nagasaki blast. Only person to survive 2 nuclear attacks.
Ooh, well, it's one of those things. Surviving is a relative term.
Well, yeah.
It's like, for how long? Jesus. Awful. But the amazing thing is, apparently, we don't have to talk about Nagasaki and Hiroshima too much, but apparently in Hiroshima, the trains were up and running by the end of the day.
Sure.
At least for a limited service to the places that still existed.
Yeah. If I remember right, the nurse who was on both of the ships went back to nursing on ships after both of them.
Just unperturbed.
Yeah, I guess.
Alright. I mean, I suppose maybe she really loved being on the sea. I don't know. Maybe that was her thing. She liked traveling. I don't know. Maybe.
I wouldn't think you would after both of those, but.
Or maybe you'd be like, well, clearly I'm immortal. Clearly I'm indestructible, so I can do what I want.
Yeah.
He lived until 2010. Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Very.
See me? I love sea. Nice. I am fine with the sea. I don't think I would want to spend much more than. I don't think I would want to do a transatlantic cruise.
Hey, we talked about the Queen Elizabeth II. They're Q2.
That doesn't exist anymore. Oh, the QM2.
Sorry, QM2. We were going to do the QM2 crossing.
Oh yeah, we were, weren't we? I don't know why I said that then. Alright. Take that back.
Me and the sea are different.
I'm a trains guy myself. I love train journeys. Oh yeah, because you like scubas. Scuba divings.
Final lap.
Scuba divings?
QM2, since my grandfather's
Rockets.
QM1. That's like, oh yeah, this is World War One.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
That old time travel movie trope.
Yeah.
Living on the sea seems a bit lonely, especially when you see the storms the tankers have to go through. Yeah.
Complete.
I live on a boat, yet have a fear of drowning. Well, maybe it's like keep your enemies close type thing.
There we go.
Your friends close and your enemies closer.
Where does the word scuba come from? It is an acronym, I believe.
Is it?
I believe.
Or is it a backronym? Backronym is when it's not an acronym, but people make up initials for it. I used to know the difference between...
Right. It's self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Ah. Scoobs.
Ooh, our food is here. Let's go.
Excellent. Deliveroo have made bank this year. They will have done. There you go. You can walk past the TV. Or, you know, whichever. Uber Eats or Meituan or whatever. Steve said he thought it was French. He thought scuba was French. I just want to hear it defined by Vincent Price now. Scuba diving. Le scuba. It's probably what it is. Le scuba. Still one of my favourite. In Welsh, ironing board. The word for ironing board in Welsh is board smoothio.
Plasma. Cannon.
Do it.
Final lap.
Final lap. I wonder if I can do like a marathon.
What?
I wonder if I can do like a 40 lap or something. I wonder if you can set how many laps you want to do. I don't know.
I'll read the longer comments once I
Yeah, sure.
get our delivery,
My grandfather was an admiral in the Dutch Navy. He used his hands to remember which side port and starboard were on, and then he'd turn around and get it wrong.
Yeah.
Sure about that, Michael? It doesn't sound like it has enough L's in it. Is that something I said in French? Le scuba. Yeah, could add more. Board smoothio. No, it was my Welsh thing. It was my Welsh. Of course, the double L's is a. It's that sound, isn't it? It's actually an extra vowel that doesn't exist in English. Something like that. The Welsh for the ironing board. The Welsh for ironing board. I can't remember what it is in German. I should know that. Probably. Yeah, Flatzigens-Mittels-Stumpfel or something like that. It's probably massive long. It's all one word, you know. Oh no!
What have you done?
Crashed. Yeah, probably shouldn't do that. Nobody in my family was that far off. So I'm stupidly proud of my great-grandfather for smashing an officer in the face with...
Oh, I got it. I like the cliffhanger. with the shovel during World War I.
That's amazing. Oh, that's great-grandfather, okay. That's an amazing story. Pang! Is Wipeout set in the same universe as F-Zero? No, I think F-Zero was a kind of competitor future anti-gravity racing game.
Final lap.
Because I remember my brother used to have F-Zero X on the Game Boy Advance back in the day. Ow. I got boomed. Bon voyage. Oh, I could have done better on that one. Yikes. Yikes on a bike. Okay, I think we're back. I think I just pressed it by accident. The Albanian for ironing board is Tavelinje Hekurosieje, which literally translates to ironing table.
That was a valiant effort.
I have no idea if any of that made any sense. Or was even close to how you actually say that. Ouchie. Oh, come on, that one that... that should have hit him. That would have been very funny. Oh, could have taken me for a native. Wow, that's very kind of you to say, John. Quiet man, Scottish, so he was more or less just a meat shield. Oh, he was left to die out in no man's land. There we go. That's our food delivery. Left to die out in no man's land by the officer. Oh shit. Oh, so it was a kind of revenge type thing. I think I would have done that too. Asshole officer. Yeah, I'm very glad that, at least, touch wood, there hasn't been another sizable global conflict that required an entire generation to take up arms. I don't think I would last too long in that. I'm a musician, you know. I suppose I could probably get a conscientious objector status. I think I probably have to. I'd be strawberry. I know you would. No, you'd shoot me more than once, so it was extra. Spent 6 months in military prison. Ooh. Came out. First thing he did was punch another officer in the face. Spent another year behind bars. Oh no. Oh.
I mean, at that point, I am questioning his decisions a little bit. I got us lots of good stuff.
Yay.
Including milk, so I can have coffee before my 9 a.m. meeting tomorrow. Yay. I love morning meetings.
Morning meetings are the best.
Aren't they?
But aren't they the most productive time to have a meeting?
It's just so nice to get going.
It's when you're still slightly unconscious.
Yeah, let's talk about all these important things while I'm half unconscious and guzzling caffeine.
Because morning people are the best people, and they rule the world. So they have to decide, well, I just love to wake up when the sun comes up at like 4 a.m. and then do like 2.5 hours of yoga, and then I'll have a smoothie, and then I'll make all of the evening people in my life meet when it's convenient for me.
I think this is why I think I have one one friend who was a morning person. No, maybe two. But both of them have learned not to talk to me about it.
Oh, sorry, John. I'm casting shade on John there. He's a morning person.
I mean,
That's alright.
yeah.
That's alright. That's fair enough.
It's okay, John. No one's perfect.
I was talking about the CrossFit type. You know the type.
Don't walk it back.
Hmm?
Don't walk it back. We're very anti-morning people.
Yeah.
John's
Generally.
allowed, but we're very anti-morning.
We are a bit anti-morning. I can do mornings when I have to. That's the thing. I can do it just fine. It's just I prefer not. I would prefer not to. Just like that Herman Melville story.
Yeah. Hellboy to survive a war. I spent it nearly getting killed and then turning on my commanding officers and then going to prison. I
mean, if it's that or No Man's Land, you've probably got better chances in prison.
Right here.
And it's all the way over there.
It's all the way over there. Look, I've had a long day.
Steven says, I'm only a morning person when I've had a really bad evening. So I'm guessing it's turned into a really long night and you haven't been able to get to sleep. Because I've had those kind of nights where I just cannot sleep. It happened a lot in lockdown, actually. Just had the lockdown sleepy time issues. Well, nobody was doing anything. It was hard for us to get tired enough to actually need to sleep.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yep.
Complete.
Hold the phones. We have a winner.
I got ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I also got you cheese and other assorted cheese products.
Excellent. Thank you. You know I like that. I like cheese and other assorted cheese products.
I know.
I'm big on that sort of thing. Well, there's not quite as many here as there were in America. You could get orange, kind of bright orange,
I miss the orange
powdered
cheese products.
cheese shit
I
in
want
the
my
States.
Cheez-Its and my goldfish and my Kraft mac and cheese. I want it fluorescent. It's like I can't sleep in my bed. Sleep on the couch mostly. More comfy. Yeah,
And we can relate to that. Yeah, we can relate to that a bit.
I ended up getting a fold-up floor mattress,
Right.
which has helped me quite a bit.
We've also realised we're one of those couples that doesn't necessarily need to share a bed because we just have a tendency to get in each other's way.
Well, let's be honest, that's mostly my fault. I'm somewhere between a space heater and a perpetual motion machine in my sleep.
You do move around a lot, but it's just we found that we actually do sleep better.
Yep.
It's like that's the only thing, you know. At least we have the kind of apartment that allows us to have two sleeping areas.
Yes, indeed.
That's very, very handy.
The number of times that I've done a dramatic flip in the middle of the night.
You
and
look
kicked
like
you
a
off.
breaching whale that one time.
Well, somewhere in my half-conscious brain, it just thought, if I do it really fast, he won't notice.
And exactly. The impact force was
If I flip over
somewhere close to
really
if you'd thrown a suitcase on the bed.
Final lap.
Is that the things Americans
Was that the time I went like Alice?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Or was it? No, I think I went.
You
"Mm."
didn't, yeah, that was that. The time
I just-
that was when I knocked something off the bed, which knocked a water ball on the floor over.
No, knocked something off the bed. To be clear, you knocked a gigantic plush cat that was shaped like a big column.
Oh, you love fun.
No. It was nude. It was Noodle.
That was not noodle.
It was Kitty Noodle.
No, it was fun.
Which of the gigantic cats was that?
It was fun.
It was Bun?
It was fun.
It was Kitty Bun. I do love Kitty Bun, but he went bowling that night. Is that the thing Americans call tang?
No, that's like Tang is that watered down orange drink. Like the ones that they serve at church functions.
Oh, so there's one of the okay, because here we have Tango.
Yeah.
Tango is like an orange, kind of orange drink, as in you've been tangoed.
I see.
They had a thing for a while where they had an advert that was very, very famous and had to be banned because you've been tangoed meant playing a prank on somebody in this advert. So it was going up to people and smacking them in the face,
Oh,
except
no.
kids were doing it wrong and deafening their friends.
Oh my god!
Like breaking their eardrums and shit, so they had to stop that. Let's cut it out.
Are you saying that we could use a generator if there's an energy crisis from the amount you move? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying.
So you know how the premise to the Matrix is dumb, right? Because, you know, if what you need is, you know, a billion... If what the computer world needed was just batteries, then they could just have, like, a billion cows and kill all the humans, breed like a billion cows, and use them as batteries.
Yeah.
Especially since they wouldn't care about fucking up the atmosphere. You're the only thing that would make that premise work.
There we go. I'm gonna go with this.
I have no idea where that went. Hopefully into the stand to vaporize some people.
It's actually a double whammy because I'm massively overheated night, so you can also use me for thermonuclear energy.
There you go. We've got to cool you with water, like a reactor.
How many plush giant cats do you guys have? My partner has a cupboard full. She brings them out occasionally to cuddle whenever I don't co-op on them. Assuming it says whenever I don't suffice.
I mean, that's pretty much why you have Kitty Bun and Kitty Noodle, right?
No, it's because I overheat, and otherwise I make you too hot.
No, but that's not why you have plush cats.
Well,
How are they cooling you down, though?
they're not, but I'm not overheating you.
I see.
I'm doing this as a service to you.
Ah.
See?
Leech beam.
In the Matrix, it fell apart seeing the stormy skies and lightning strikes. They could just get the power from lightning strikes. Yes, they probably could have done, to be fair.
Also, now I only have one giant plush cat.
Well, it's one of those things that I don't know if you guys ever watched the anime Matrix stuff that they made around the time that the Matrix sequels came out. There was this thing called the Animatrix that was all done by different anime studios and actually really quite well done. I watched it all a few years ago. There's one which kind of gives the sort of backstory of the Matrix, and that sort of explains some of it. There's 2 episodes that kind of explain the history, and it's pretty much what you'd think, you know. Humans made AI and started mistreating the AI. AI obviously rebelled, tried to become a separate country. Basically, yes. Well, I think the idea was that it took a little longer than that. It wasn't just something that happened instantly as soon as they switched on, I don't know, Skynet or whatever. It was more kind of, it was a slower burn. And the idea is that essentially the humans, caused the Matrix situation themselves, because they're the ones that thought, alright, well, if we scorch the sky, and if we block out the sun, we destroy their source of energy, and that's why they take revenge by saying, right, we're going to use you as our source of energy. And even though that's a really silly idea, that's at least the logic in the story. A wonderful mix of, oh, this is cool, with the living, and what in the living fuck is going on? Pretty much. Yes. Turns out the humans are real rabbits. Rabbits. Do love a good rabbit. Don't know, who started saying robot in a South African accent? Rabbit. Did that come from something like District 9 or something like that? Rabbit. Yeah. Humans did not think ahead much there. Yes.
Yeah, so to be fair, that's not something we're inherently good at as a species.
Well, I mean, we're currently scorching our own sky at the moment. You know,
Yes.
metaphorically.
Well, maybe we'll be lucky and a super AI will take over control and just turn us all into battery cells.
I mean, I'm sort of hoping that we'll invent AI and the AI will go, right, here is the exact thing you need to do. And also, here is how you figure out your economics so that most of your population isn't just poor, and there are just 1% of people that are ridiculously rich, like Jeff Bezos, and they can go fart off into space whenever they want.
Yeah. See, that would be great, but at the same time, I feel like once we've reached that point, we've gotten just a bit too close to Skynet.
Well, a lot of people are very worried about artificial general intelligence, as they say, which I'm convinced by, mostly just because people do not seem to understand. Most people don't have a good sense of just how fast, if you have something that thinks a certain number of times faster than humans, in order to stay ahead of it, you would have to be thinking 10,000 times faster than us or something, in order to, and you know, in the moment that we just spent discussing this with our rubbish human language, it's already done 10 days worth of work.
Yeah.
You know, it's a proportion like that. If you know, that's why people are worried. Let's say. I think that's the logic behind why people are concerned. I have also heard that people say that there is nothing necessarily to suggest that artificial intelligence would be any more dangerous than just meat intelligence, let's say. Which is kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah.
And something explored somewhat in movies and TV, the likes of which we've discussed here.
I don't know, constant sleep, stuck in the 90s forever. I guess it'll look cool with black leather jacket and sunglasses, just like 90s really sweet. Sign me up!
Although, to be fair, I think you only get to do that if you're one of the rebellion.
Yeah.
You know, if you're part of Morpheus and his gang of cool people because they're cool. I think then you have to be. That's why Cypher wanted to go back in the Matrix, so that he could be, you know, ignorant of the whole thing. He just didn't care. I remember that was one of the first kind of turnabout in, you know, turnabout betrayal characters that really made me angry. Because as an 11 or 12-year-old, whenever I watched The Matrix, I was going like, you just can't afford to in this situation. It's too important that you don't betray the humans. It's quite funny. I can remember thinking that and going, oh, silly Michael.
I mean,
It's just a movie.
I mean, I'm not worried about AI right now. We have a hard enough time teaching it how to tell the difference between a cat and a dog.
Right. Again, one of the things that these podcasts that I've been listening to, one of the things they point out is that there's really no sense of exactly how long it could be. It could be 50 years or it could be 10 years. We don't know. And there aren't really things in place. Or it could be never, you know. It might have been years or never, just like he says in Wip3out. Just don't use proto matter. That's the lesson we learn. Don't use proto matter. It's unethical. AI is incredibly stupid. Google made an AI, sent it out to learn from the internet, and became a Nazi. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Right.
It started like repeating Nazi slogans. I mean, that's because they made the mistake of sending it on the internet.
Yeah.
And also probably because it couldn't tell the genuine Nazis from the ones that were being sarcastic. Which all that meant was that it had net a whole load more Nazis, as far as it could see. Cyber did it because Joe Pantoliano was just angry because he wasn't the solo ball guy. Yeah, pretty much. He also said in Wrath of Khan, these abs are 100% real. It's not a fake muscle chest piece, I swear. I do a lot of push-ups. I have not been able to find any evidence that those are not Ricardo Montalban's pecs. The man was very fit. I mean, he was a dancer. He was a Broadway dancer. And apparently did really seriously work out for that role. Although they do look quite ridiculous. They do look like they might be... do you keep that on, actually? They do look like they might be prosthetics.
The trouble with the internet is that human beings did not evolve to deal with it.
We are evolved.
Yeah.
We're intelligent at most in the evolved world. I completely agree.
Well, yes.
I mean, it's incredibly new on a scale of humanity.
In terms of the timescales that evolution works on, it's like it can't respond to that within the timescale needed. Ow, ow.
No, I know. I just love the fact that Ricardo is just showing it all off and looking like my gran. I swear my gran's the spitting image of Ricardo.
He does look like a granny. It's really true.
Oh, God.
Especially when he starts going, raise them! Are you cold? What? You're cold?
Oh, shut up. I just had ice cream.
Okay.
What? My core has been...
What? Your fudge core? That was an ice cream joke. Fudge core, just like the Dairy Queen ones. No, if anybody's a fudge, well, fudge core kind of implies that fudge core kind of implies that you're massively constipated.
Just full of...
I've got a fudge core. That's like a great way of saying that you've just been full of shit for about 2 days.
It's a very nice way to tell someone they're full of
Oh, you've got a fudge core. Oh my god, that's great. I can't wait for an opportunity to use that on someone.
shit. Oh, God.
You've got a fudge core. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oof. Oof. Scraping the walls a bit too much there. Fudge core sounds like a new genre of YouTube music.
You've heard of Nightcore, then you love the Bardcore. Prepare yourself for Fudgecore. Oh, that's great.
Fudge core. It all came from hardcore, didn't it? And then they started adding other things onto core. So that's how we ended up with punk core or something. I don't know. It all comes from hardcore electronica, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not as much my area as certain other things, but it's something I know a tiny bit about, and actually a fair bit about from my students.
Yeah.
It's like how everything's a gate. It's true. Gate. That's so fascinating, the way that... There must be a term for that in linguistics, where things kind of get chopped up and reused. Which has to do with the name of a kind of slightly outdated 60s hotel in Washington, D.C. that I used to walk past quite a lot because it was on the way to the Kennedy Center.
Okay. This is a wobble core, just Rolf Harris.
That's the second time Rolf Harris has come up, and I'm very disturbed by that in the last couple of days. Some people have mentioned Rolf Harris.
Remind me who Rolf Harris is.
Another Rolf that we know,
Okay.
that you met the other day.
Oh,
You remember that Rolf?
yeah.
He was talking about other people called Rolf, and Rolf Harris came up in that conversation.
Okay.
Yes, in conversations about apparently Australian paedophiles.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was the thing we were sort of obliquely referring to.
Okay.
He wanted to tie down Marsupial. Marsupial, that was his claim to fame. Tie me kangaroo down. He did a song called Tie Me Kangaroo Down.
I do not know that.
Well, he was only really known here.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then there was the Two Little Boys Have Two Little Toys. That was apparently, and get this, it was apparently one of Margaret Thatcher's favourite songs, and she thought it was really deep. And there's a really embarrassing interview with her in which she says, "Oh yes, but you see those two little boys and their two little toys. It's a very interesting, you see." And the interviewer's like, "Holy shit, you're Ooh, boy. Oh dear. Yeah, if you don't want to know anything about Margaret Thatcher, that's a really good indication of where her aesthetic kind of knowledge lay. Not good. She was no genius.
Only other role.
At least not at that. Not at that.
Australians didn't really care for him, from what I understand.
Well, weren't they right? I think they were onto something.
Yeah. Again, why does puppets keep coming up with these dreams?
I don't know. I think it's because we've talked a lot about creepy British things. Creepy British things equals puppets.
I know, but we weren't even talking about that. We talking about puppets again.
It's kind of the right era for puppets. There was puppets. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Read out Stephen's comment. That's really interesting.
Yes, Minister was a delightful comedy rather than the balls out nihilistic comedy that tells you, hey, politics full of garbage.
Well, the thing that's really embarrassing, again, another very embarrassing thing, is they wrote a sketch for her to take part in, and she was obviously not an actor. It's a bit like when Tony Blair turned up on Catherine Tate's show going, am I bothered?
Yep.
It's a bit like that when that happened, except even worse. I feel like Tony Blair must have been coached by his kids to do that. That was one of those things where it was like, people were surprised that he actually did it. But it was, I think it was clearly Alistair Campbell or somebody just getting him to do that.
Steven says, yes, Minister is easily the darkest British comedy because it kind of told you your vote doesn't count. The civil service runs the country and they're out of touch. Laugh.
No, Yes Minister is one of the most brilliantly written things ever. I absolutely love that.
John says, fun fact, as a child, the only TV shows I ever wrote into were Nimble 66 and Rolf's Cartoon Club. Make of that what you will.
Oh, that's 2 for 2 on that one.
I don't know either of those.
Oh, do you not?
No.
Both of those people turned out to be massive paedophiles.
Oh, okay.
And extremely prolific paedophiles. The weird thing is that there probably should have been, you know, the Me Too movement, not to get on this too much, but the Me Too movement, the Me Too movement kicked off when it did in America because of Harvey Weinstein. It should probably have started earlier because of Jimmy Savile, when a lot of stuff came out as a result of Jimmy Savile, an inquiry into Jimmy Savile's behavior revealed that he had abused some number of hundreds of kids when he went into hospitals as a volunteer, and they would just let him because they didn't. There was, I don't know, it's very dark. It's one of the nastiest things ever. But yeah. And then also Rolf Harris was also, he was still alive at the time and was also accused in that whole slew of accusations.
Anyways.
So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Other topics.
Remember not the 9 o'clock news where they kidnap kids for Rolf Harris? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I think we're going to make an executive decision here. We're going to stop talking about famous British child
Let's not do that.
child abusers. Let's just
Let's not do that.
let's move on. Moving on. Your brother was on Nightmare? That was amazing. That was a great show. Nightmare was a good one.
So many things I don't know.
As long as it wasn't Mr. Nosy Bonk. Look up Mr. Nosy Bonk.
No.
Did I not make you do this before?
No.
Look up Mr.
Why are you
Nosy
doing
Bonk.
it?
Mr. Nosy Bonk knows where you live.
What the fuck? What the actual hell?
we love to traumatize our
This was
kids.
a child show?
It prepares them for a dark life of living in England. Okay,
This was a child show.
a children's show. Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you people? Jesus Christ.
You look. You married me and you wanted to live here, so
Yeah, I know. That was before
That-
Mr. Nosy Boss.
that's it. That's the moment our marriage fell apart. Was, you know,
I mean,
you could take the shitty train service, you could take the no air conditioning, but Mr. Nosy Bonk is where you draw the line.
Survived the sentient tumor. This is just too far.
But okay, by sentient tumor, what she means is Mr. Blobby, by the way,
No,
guys.
sentient tumor.
It is a sentient tumor.
Plasma.
I love that. I can't remember. I think it was the Fratocrats. They said at one point, Mr. Blobby comes up in conversation, and they said the thing with Mr. Blobby is that his call, the thing that he says when he announces himself, is not like "Hey, Mr. Blobby," but "Mr. Blobby." And he like runs at people and jumps on them and stuff. It's just the most demented, terrifying thing. Annalise, the UK kids' TV shows were made to traumatize kids. Yes, they were. Because I think it was assumed that kids were behaving badly and they needed things to scare them into behaving well. That was the
Was there
idea.
actually some thought put into this? Was there actually a reason why British children's television shows look terrifying?
I don't
No,
know.
Stephen.
Oh yeah, Mr. Blobby was on the Generation game with another right-wing TV presenter whose name I forget. Oh no! I don't want to go to Boots. I want to race. Noel's house party. Noel Edmonds. That's the one.
Johnson says other childhood envy of the way at my school was awarded the rarest of the rare, the gold blue beer badge.
Oh, that was like that's like the Presidential Medal of Honor of kids awards from TV shows from 30 years ago.
Get awards from TV shows?
Yeah, you could write in with your suggestions for something. My dad got a Blue Peter badge once. He still has it somewhere because he wrote in. I think they'd made. Oh God, what was it? It was a scene set on the moon, and a flag was fluttering in the breeze. My dad wrote in all of 10 and goes, "You can't do that because there's no wind on the moon." And they wrote him back, and he was like, "Shut up, kid. Here's your badge."
What
I'm
are
kidding.
these badges?
They give him a badge, a little Blue Peter badge. It has the Blue Peter was a ship,
Okay.
so it's like an old kind of tall sailing ship.
Okay.
And then, so they give you a little badge that means that if you get sent a badge, it means you know. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Steve. Is that my dad helped fake the moon landing, even though he was 10 at the time. This would have been in the early 70s, I imagine, when my dad was little.
They had many levels. They're still valid for getting into the fraction.
Really?
Wait, what fraction? I'm confused. You think I can get these things?
Maybe we could get into ZSL if I take my dad's
What is
45-year-old Blue Peter badge Blue Peter badge along. Although no, it would be 52 years old at this point, I suppose, because he was 10 at the time. So.
Missile, cannon, rocket.
Did you have any kids shows, like educational shows in the States, where you could write in as a kid with your own answers on a postcard? That's why we say answers on a postcard to, P.O. Box, whatever it is, London, L1.
I think you could like write letters to Mr. Rockford or something.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
We didn't get badges.
Yeah, you got a badge if you got the right answer, or if you came up with an answer nobody else did. It was a nice thing. It was like, encouraging smart kids to contribute. It's good. I mean, British stuff, kids. British kid stuff is weird, Stephen. I agree. Kind of shares a lot with common German stuff. Has a delightful darkness to it all. Yes, it does. It does indeed. It is pretty weird. What kids shows? What was like a good kids science show that you watched growing up? Like Bill Nye, I guess.
Bill Nye, yeah. There's a math show called Cyber Chase.
Ooh, Cyber Chase. That sounds cool.
Yeah, sci-fi math show.
Well,
Zoom was very popular. But that wasn't exactly as funny. I don't actually know what that show was.
the school bus one.
Oh, the Magic School Bus?
Magic School Bus, yeah.
The best one.
I used to watch that. Miss Frizzle.
They've actually brought it back and not screwed it up.
How To. I used to watch How To, yeah. With Carol Vorderman, right? Was she in it? She was in at least one season of it. I used to like the Really, Really Wild Show with Michaela Strachan.
My show was
Zaboomafoo, yes, you told me about that one.
where you learn about animals.
Yes, the Real Really Wild Show was also about animals. I used to like that. That was our version of Zaboomafoo, I think.
Why be the only puppet I've ever liked?
Oh, was Zaboomafoo a puppet?
Well, he starts out as a real lemur, like an actual trained animal. But then they gave and he hops into the studio at the beginning of every show, and then they give him fruit, and then he transforms into the puppet version we call.
Okay, who here remembers Otis the Aardvark?
Not me. Arthur is the only aardvark I know.
This was a mascot that was on British Kids TV in the 90s. And he talked with a very strange accent. I don't know why he talked like that, but... Roland Rat. Okay, Roland Rat, I think, was the one before Otis the Aardvark.
I love that there are two childhood aardvarks.
No, Roland was a rat. He was a rodent.
But you were just saying Otis the aardvark.
Otis was the Aardvark. He...
Yeah. No, I know. I was talking about Arthur the aardvark.
Well, this was a mascot.
The Arthur show.
Oh, you mean the animated show? No, this was one that was like in the studio with the presenters.
Oh, this was like a real aardvark? What? I'm so
It was a mascot. It was a mascot. Ed the Duck was one of them as well. All right, Otis the Aardvark. Look up Otis the Aardvark. Spelt just like that, the way Steven spelled it. We're culture shocking Annalise again, guys. We're trying to. This is what our streams have become: is how can we culture shock my
another
wife?
puppet.
It is another puppet. He was cute. I used to like Otis. He was very sweet.
Alright, I suppose she's not the...
I think he used to tickle people, if I remember correctly.
I was just about to say he was creepy.
I'm sure I've still got some footage of that thing on tape. Doing links between, I don't know, the Beano, Dennis the Menace show or whatever, and an episode of Grange Hill. The DJ Cat.
Missile.
Ah! Poochie dog. Cat puppet. Whoa! Oh, that was interesting. Shove I also forget Brother Quay. I forget your puppet fear. So Brother Quay movies are not for you. Right. Yeah. That's what this is.
Mines.
When will you learn? This is where we freak you out and make you indignant towards the British Isles.
Yay.
Ow, 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 ow. Jesus. I'm flying through New York. Alright, go on. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I thought that was whatever that really nightmarish version of Alice in Wonderland is. You know, the one with the insane puppets. Annalise, you would hate it. You would absolutely hate that. It's Alice in Wonderland, but done with really creepy puppets who are like mutilating each other with giant scissors and stuff. It's fucking nightmarish. Ah. Jesus. Svankmeyer, that's the one. I'm doing great. I'm also trying to leave comments. Sorry, you find the ones that are.
I found the ones that are trying to be scarier.
Oh, because you think they're trying to trick you,
Yeah, well,
win your trust,
At least the scary ones are honest about their intent.
and then they're going to come to you at night, hand your box matches, and tell you burn.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I won't make you look that one up, anyways. I actually will not. Yeah, that is. Jan Svankmeyer is clearly a disturbed person. I'm glad they knew what I was talking about. Shut up, Hayne. I think this has become like group therapy for British childhoods. These streams. Yeah. Check. Svankmeyer, yeah, it sounds. I think it could be Czech or Polish, maybe. So look it up. Banned because the Soviets consider it too intense. That's how you know it was off the wall. The Soviets thought it was too much. If the Soviets go, nah, this is too bleak. As I say, it's a version of Alice in Wonderland, done with puppets, but it's a retelling of the Alice in Wonderland story, but it's Alice in Nightmare Land, essentially.
Third place.
Don't. No, Annalise, please. Actually, don't this time. The other ones are no. Seriously, no. You won't be able to sleep. I'm serious. They're like they're puppets like killing each other and doing horrible things and stabbing each other with scissors and stuff. It's really messed up.
How bad could just pictures be?
I don't remember. That's the thing. Don't. Yeah, Stephen's like don't. Seriously, look. If Stephen Allen's telling you not to, then you know we're not messing with you. We are serious. We're deadly serious. It's not a good idea, says Stephen. Yeah.
I mean, nothing of the pictures that have come up is actually that
Yeah. That's a sheep skull.
Yeah, but no, it's not. It's a giraffe.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
Giraffe skull. Okay. Done in stop motion with household items in interaction with a real life girl. Oh, yeah! And they're like running all over it. They're running all over her, aren't they? And they're doing things. Okay, if I were to show you the other thing that is really nuts about it, actually, if you watch it, is the sound design. Because the sounds are all recorded really up close, so it sounds like it's in your ear. It's when you hear the scissors go like shing, it sounds like somebody just used the scissors right next to your ear. You would not like it. All right, fair enough. It's one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. I mean, it's brilliant and incredibly inventive and definitely very fucked up, but in a kind of H.R. Geiger kind of way.
We need more shipping and things. Alice.
Oh god, can you imagine Alice in Wonderland done by fucking H.R. Geiger? Nosy Blonde's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I looked at the pictures and I can see what.
Does anyone remember the 90s sci-fi film with Charlie Sheen that was the inspiration of the Half-Life? That one could be. Hang on, I'm going to try and figure that out. Oof.
Are we googling it?
Yeah, I want to
What are
look
you
that up.
googling?
I'm looking up the what he just said, the Charlie Sheen sci-fi movie. Charlie Sheen sci-fi movie. The Arrival? Possibly that one?
Je ne sais pas. Yes. Those.
David Twohy. Didn't David Twohy do the Riddick things? The Arrival. It was The Arrival. Okay. I think he did Pitch Black. David Twohy. I think he's either Australian or American. But yeah, I think wasn't David Twohy involved with Alien 3 at some point? Maybe I'm misremembering that. I think it's been long enough that I could watch an Alien movie again.
Yeah.
It's been long enough. I've let them sit fallow for a few months. I just love the Alien films. They're so brilliant. Because that was the original, for me, that was the original staying up late with my dad watching a scary film. It was so much fun.
This is a genuine question, John. Why? Trying to understand.
Final lap.
Not.
Shield active.
Actually, Being John Malkovich has a creepy puppeteer in it. But, although that's the main character. John Cusack playing creepy puppeteer man. And one of his kind of dance scenes is set to a piece of Bela Bartok. Music for strings, percussion, and Celeste.
Race complete.
Bizarrely Mexican-American film where it's sort of like Remember Contact. Wouldn't it be better with crazy Charlie Sheen and even more, and Charlie Sheen pretending, I'm guessing, something that it's got a... Ah, you grew up with marionettes.
Ah, okay. Alright. Fair enough. Exposure therapy.
What was the one I watched that had Jimmy Smits in it? And it was... Oh, it was the Tommyknockers. It was a bad Stephen King thing. The Tommyknockers, yeah. Well, the Tommyknockers are supposedly a Native American legend, a bit like the Wendigo or something. The Wendigo.
Wendigo, yeah.
It turns out the Tommyknockers are aliens, and they're slowly taking over everybody in the city. And it's a rip-off of Quatermass in the Pit. Okay. Yeah, Stephen King's not that original.
He gets all his ideas from Christmas markets.
Yeah. That's a decent, creepy kind of yarn. It was kind of fun.
Oh, during his cocaine phase.
In which he could not be edited, yeah. Because he didn't remember what the fuck was in the last sentence he wrote. He had so much he doesn't remember writing certain books. He's a bit like, you know, Matthew Perry. Doesn't remember half of Friends. Poor Matthew Perry's not looking so good, man.
No, he's not.
I wish people would not be quite so mean about it.
I know.
People have been really horrible about it in that interview that came out.
After the reunion, yeah. Remember how...
Although it is a good, you know, it is a good object lesson in, you know, try to...
This stuff catches up
This
too.
stuff does damage. It's not just a bit of fun. Like, it does actually... it's really sad.
Steven says, yeah, the Tommyknockers, remember how, oh, they're an old mystic idea. With aliens, same thing as quarterbacks.
Plasma.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Quartermass, though, is a...
Sorry, Quatermass.
Quatermass.
It's an annoying... Yeah, it's one of those words. It looks like it should be Quartermass, but it's not. Just to annoy you.
Quatermass, though, is a genuine thought piece that's about what do we get, where do we get race hatred from? Why do we hate people for being different?
Yeah. Is this Quatermass in the Pit or Quatermass, the Quatermass Experiment, the first one? Because I watched that recently. It's brilliant.
Missile.
I watched that with my dad.
Rocket.
It's terrifying. It's essentially, I think John Carpenter said at one point it was one of his influences on The Thing, because it's all about a body that's gradually deforming.
Missile.
it's been taken over by some kind of like plant vegetable substance. It keeps eating plants. Junji Ito manga, it's pretty freaky. Yeah, I've heard things about Junji Ito. Not much, but I'm aware of that vaguely. Final lap. I might just finish this tournament and then call it for the night. Just a short and sweet.
I mean, if you're going for an hour 15.
Yeah. That's good. It's
Too short.
Quaymass in the Pit. Shows that our Abrahamic ideas of pointed devils have been influenced. Okay. I think I remember this now.
Having been a crash site for aliens with
That's also similar to an idea in Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End, where the aliens, a little bit like the Vorlons, except the other way, instead of looking like angels, they look like demons. And that's why they're reluctant to show themselves, is because they've clearly visited Earth before and become part of our mythology, and so they thought that they would, we wouldn't listen to them if we knew what they looked like. I have the Hammer version of Quatermass, it was fun. Hammer House of Horror, that one? Yeah.
Second place.
What were we talking about the other day? Was it Dario Argento? Suspiria, the movie. I think came up last night when we were chatting. And it turns out that Dario Argento's daughter or granddaughter is Asia Argento, who's married to Auntie Bourdain.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting connections.
Small world. The aliens have been influencing us. We have the hate because we're part of a survival effort. They kill themselves in the race war. Okay, interesting. So it's kind of oddly similar to some of the Babylon 5. I mean, that's the thing, is Babylon 5, once you start to stretch your legs around sci-fi cinema a bit more, you begin to realise how many ideas Babylon 5 kind of borrowed from other things. But that's okay, because it just does it so nicely. And compared to the stuff that's made now, ugh. Anybody excited for fucking Lower Decks Season 2? I mean, I'll probably watch it. It's the only new Star Trek I'm going to watch. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Good, okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cast shade on you. I'm just saying I'm not wildly... Because it feels like a kind of added extra. It doesn't sound... I don't know.
You like the first season.
I do, yeah.
You really enjoy. You sound so hesitant that we're watching it. You were laughing.
I did find it fun. Oh, Tom Paris is in it. Okay.
Yay! I really like Lower Decks. I'm looking forward to the second season.
Boimler versus Packleds.
Excellent.
I kind of like how the Packleds have become, like, a ridiculously OP villain now, who have giant spaceships and go around tearing up over, disassembling other people's ships.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think my issue with it is that even though, yes, I did enjoy it, it's not the thing I want Star Trek to be. I don't want Star Trek to be a kind of knockabout comedy show, really. I want it to, what I want is more well-written TNG or Voyager type stuff. I don't want this. I don't want what they've done. And that's just, talk about being a mishmash of everything. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I've decided to look at it as an entirely separate thing.
Where Lower Decks? Yeah, it is. It just kind of feels like an amuse-bouche, It's not like a fully fleshed out thing, and it's clearly not the prestige product that they're trying to put out. That's what they think Picard and Discovery is, when it's not.
No.
Just kind of makes me feel a little bit jilted as a Star Trek fan.
John Smith says, I only recently found out Bryan Cranston was in a B5 episode.
That's right. He's
Sarcastic.
yes, he's the one that has to basically sacrifice himself.
Yes. And Steve Allen says, Riker being in charge of Titan and being possibly the goofiest dad ever. I'm fine with it being a comedy mainly because I love the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Mallory Archer was in the show as well. Ow, 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 ow. Mallory Archer? Oh, the woman who... As in, like, not as in, like, Captain Archer, as in, Archer from show Archer. Who did she play? Because she was obviously in... Her most famous role was probably Arrested Development. In Breaking Bad. I can break bad too sometimes. And break you, popcorn bowl. Sorry, say again. What's John said there?
The Breaking Bad, the character of Badger is revealed to be a B5 fan as an in-joke.
Okay.
Really? Okay,
That's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, that's a funny reference.
Steve Allen says, I like the whales one. I like the levity. I needed levity after the depression induced seasons of Discovery and Picard.
First place.
Yeah, you'll get no argument from me there. I've kind of discussed that to death on this channel, actually. But it's not good. And they're gonna roll out season 2 before too much longer, and it's just gonna be awful.
I don't know what you're talking about. These things don't exist.
And they're bringing back the 2 most famous characters, other than Picard, from TNG, which is Q and Guinan. And they're gonna ruin them. They're gonna ruin them.
It's not true. It's a myth. This is a conspiracy
It's
theory.
made up.
Picard is a conspiracy theory.
You see, I'm just worried about if you deny it for too much longer, you're gonna have like a psychotic break and realize it was actually made. This isn't a dream. This is reality, and you're gonna like have a mental breakdown over
Fine,
it.
I can segment the brain. Fine.
Yeah, that's what concerns me, Annalise. I don't want you to be in a mental hospital because you found out that Discovery, that our world wasn't a nightmare.
No, it's fine.
And Discovery and Picard really happened.
It's fine. I just took that segment and put it in a little box and tucked it away in the back.
I don't think. Okay. I don't think you're. That doesn't seem like a very healthy way to deal with
I
it.
have a very organized file system there.
That's not how brains work, Annalise.
So mine
You're the scientist.
So mine works. It's a well-organized system. It's all done by cats.
Fine. I told you so, though.
Steve Allen says Guinan was ruined when she was in Generation.
Yeah, she was already kind of a little over-explained there. They tried to explain her powers by saying, well, she's partly in the Nexus, and that's why she can see all of reality and time and stuff. It's like, well...
Steve Allen, that's what they want. Don't give them what they want.
And Guinan was, yeah.
They don't deserve it.
What does... To be honest, I gave up on Discovery after.
Steve Allen says, step up in my step with Enterprise, do not get rid of me.
Yeah, the problem is that these things are, despite the fact that, you know, we proper Star Trek fans don't like them.
Rockets.
The sort of not really fans, and I hate to be gatekeeping about it, but the people who sort of watched it, that's mostly who this is made for. The people who vaguely remember, oh yeah, that guy, he was like a magic being or a wizard or something, and he could like click his fingers and do stuff. That guy, he was fun. I like the episodes with him in it. Or, oh yeah, the woman with the strange hat, I liked her.
Well, Steve Allen, if it somehow magically gets good, then you can go back to it and watch it then. But what if it never does? Think about the hours of suffering.
It's a bit like they made Great Gatsby, but they made it for people who only half paid attention to the book, and not for people who actually really understand what the book is about. I.e. the Leonardo DiCaprio one.
We all figured that. Stephen Allen, think about the unnecessary suffering you could be causing yourself.
Or you are causing yourself, but don't have to. Is that what you mean?
Well, on the chance that they start getting better, implying that it was worth it to stick with it on the chance that they got better.
Well, that's what Mike Stacklasa texted Rich Evans and stuck it in back in for season 2 of Discovery, basically going, it's getting better.
And
Because the thing is, getting better was because they had one good episode at the start of season 2.
Cannon.
That does not a good show make. That's not a terribly good batting average.
Shield. Shield active.
In my book. Itchy eye, itchy eye, itchy eye.
Cannon.
I like Enterprise. I know.
Enterprise is it's good, and the thing is, even the bad episodes of Enterprise I would rather watch because at least
First place.
and this is a weird.
Say that before you before you say that. Let me remind you of the episode with Padma.
Oh, that one's just funny. That's funny bad. That's like I would love to get drunk and just watch that because it's so stupid.
So bad. I caused unnecessary suffering to myself when I watched TNG season 1. Or Discovery is nothing.
Oh no, that's a question. Is TNG season 1 worse than Star Trek Discovery and Picard? I'm gonna say no.
I prefer TNG season 1.
I'm not saying that's not to say season 1 is good.
No, it's terrible.
That's
But
how bad Picard and Discovery are
thing
in my book.
it's season 1 TNG is terrible, but it's not cynical.
I think the problem it has is that it looks bad to us now because it's produced. It looks also bad because the effects weren't terribly good. It was produced in a different era of television. You know,
Also the writing was
Picard.
pretty bad.
The writing was also pretty bad, but it doesn't have the glossy visuals of Discovery or Picard to make up for it.
Yeah.
Picard looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks like a movie.
It does.
It's absolute. I mean, everything is shot beautifully, but it's all meaningless.
TNG season 1 also at least has characters that are likable.
That's what I was going to say about Enterprise. Actually, was that at least it's like, oh hey, it's vlogs. Don't, John. I will not say that. I will not say that. Otherwise, you know, it's a bit like Beetlejuice. If you say that too many times, you'll get sucked into one of those fucking games. I'll say yes. But that's only because TNG had season 1 Hide and Q, which is the whole thing is Riker's become God. Yeah. We watched that one recently, didn't we? And a little kid dies.
Yep. Stop.
John, we will kick you. We have the power. We have the technology.
We have 2 viewers on. We can't keep
Well, don't tell him that. Now he's gonna think he can do anything. You've got to say though, one of the highlights is got to be the Irish episode.
Oh yeah.
That is a terrible episode. It's
so
really
bad.
half of it's really dull when they realize they take way too long to figure out they've been cloned.
Mines.
It's so bad. And also the solution they come up with would never work.
Every time I ask the question, some clone lied to me.
Energy critical.
Some clone.
Also, you're about to
I know.
Also, our solution to the whole problem of that episode is
Everyone gets laid. Hey, we're all gonna get laid. It's like whatever that Caddyshack, yeah. The long ladder, up the long ladder. That's the one. We like that episode. We occasionally get drunk and watch it. It's really good. Oof.
Yep, he was pretty bad about that.
There was something weird about 90s Star Trek, like the ones in Voyager, like Fairhaven and Spirit Folk, that were kind of set in a weird little Irish holodeck program. There was a thing with 90s had with kind of national stereotypes. Not great. No, the thing is, I'm, you know,
Complete.
accuse me of recency bias, which is a thing that people accuse each other of if they don't like Picard and Discovery, and you like older Star Trek. I much prefer the older Star Treks, because at least they're made with the ethos of what the whole point is. Because we have so many shows that are just, you know, they're gonna shoot at them. The aliens are gonna shoot at you, like with the spaceships. Yeah, like pew pew pew. They're gonna shoot at you, just like the pitch meeting does.
Yep.
There's so many things that do that now. Every Marvel show, every Star Wars show, every show that has any sci-fi elements is always pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Just pew pew pew, guys. Just pew pew. just run through. Just keep pew pew. Don't let it die. Just pew pew. Can we have one show that's at least about some ideas and solving a problem that doesn't out shit or blowing somebody up?
Yeah. I admire your dedication.
Yeah.
You are stronger than I.
More power to you, man. I mean,
if it gets good, let us know.
I feel like, do. Let us know how it's going, and also make sure we have your contact details in case we stop hearing from you, and then we'll be worried, and we'll call the authorities, go around to your place, make sure you're still okay. Cole Meena didn't start getting clamped.
Victim to Discovery.
Yeah. He'll just be dead in his chair like Infinite Jest.
That got dark very quickly.
That's what happens in Infinite Jest. He's watched too much of it and it's killed him.
Oh, okay. Alright, so reference.
Yeah, that's what Infinite Jest does. It kills you.
Okay.
It's like Ring or something.
Okay.
Colin Meaney didn't start getting clout until Deep Space Nine, when he was going to have an episode where he was going to fight a leprechaun.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll bet he went, no. Okay, well, at the hour and 31-minute mark, I think that's it. I think we're going to call it for tonight. But thanks for watching.
Fun hanging out.
Thanks for watching.